Hi, I'm Ken.
And I'm John.
And we're
all about tools.
Well, we have a great show tonight.
We do.
Purely educational, so this is not going to have our usual drill out of your hands or some crazy thing like that.
That's right.
We're going to talk about stone and e-stone and hopefully touch a little bit on concrete. But the idea is this is to kind of maybe try to demystify and show people what it's all about.
And the whole thing is because we took a trip to Elberton, Georgia.
Elberton, Georgia, which
Elberton,
is
Georgia, the granite capital of the world. But we realized we realized how easy stone is to do, and I don't want to take away from stone fabricators at all, but it was always a big mystery to us as far as what had to be done, tools and what have you. And we decided to do a show on what stone is all about and about transformation of a shop to stone and what have you. So that's what we're going to talk about tonight.
Excellent. Well,
we're going to get
actually,
right at
what we did is all of you that have watched the show, or if you've seen the archives or whatever, can I have that right? You all know.
Ooh, ice cream.
Yeah, you all know what John is like. So
Ben and Jerry's. Can we say Ben and Jerry's?
We thought we would kill two birds with one stone.
Okay. Since I didn't have dinner.
We have a little analogy for you, but the idea behind this is hopefully this will keep John occupied, and if he's got something going into his mouth.
It'll keep me awake while Ken is talking about sedimentary rock.
Look at that.
Oh, man, look at that.
Oh,
my
gosh, that's
right.
nasty. You go ahead and just scoop that out.
It's all melted.
That is.
Oh,
but that's what makes it good. You've almost got a
milkshake. Yeah.
But anyway, so while John's occupied doing that, we're going to start running because that was the idea behind this.
That's right. Keep me busy.
That's it. Really, in this first segment, this first few minutes, we're going to talk about what stone is and what separates the different classifications of stones. So hopefully it'll help you, at least if you're looking to get into the stone industry, or if you're just looking to educate yourself. What are you doing with that?
I'm trying to figure out what to do with this.
Oh, there it goes.
Very good. Okay.
This will at least give you a basis to work from. So with that, we'll jump right into it.
Okay.
One of the first things I wanted to make people aware of, and I'll get my handy-dandy little chart, is there really is kind of what's called the rock cycle. I'll hold up my little handy-dandy picture here. And basically, really, essentially, all stone is broken down into three categories. You have what is called igneous rocks, which granite is. And what that is that is rock formed from magma flows. So when a volcano erupts, the lava that comes out of the top will actually form igneous rocks. As the lava cools on the surface, that's one kind of stone. As it cools underground, in pools underneath the earth, it cools very slowly and in a distinctly different fashion. And by doing that, granite is formed. Well, as these outcroppings of granite break down over time, they become small particles, and those particles mix in with organic materials. That's where dirt comes from, or sand at the beach. Mm-hmm. And as it washes out into the ocean and then down into beds below rivers and the ocean floor, then we have what's called a sedimentary rock.
Okay.
And that would include things like marble or soapstone, sandstone, things like that. Well, those tend to exist below the surface. As those are heated and crushed by, once again, the earth, well below the ground, then you have what are called metamorphic rocks. And that would be like slate.
How is that like ice cream?
How is that like ice cream? Well, that more relates to granite, and we'll explain that now.
My wife takes me for granite.
I can't see how she could do that. But the way that ice cream is kind of like granite, and hopefully this would define it for you to a degree, is ice cream is basically, it's cream and sugar, and fundamentally that, cream and sugar. And as it's frozen, it forms crystals, ice crystals. Well, that is much the way granite is formed. It flows out as magma. As it cools, or is frozen, as it were, it forms crystals, and then those crystals become the bonded stone. Ice cream, if you heat it, which you can see what it's doing on a warm floor tonight, ice cream, as you heat it, it melts. You heat granite or reheat stone, and it will become a liquid. It will actually become liquid again. So if we shove granite mountains down into the core of the earth, the temperature is so great it would just melt the stone again.
Okay.
Now, ice cream comes in a whole variety of colors and textures. Fundamentally, it is still ice cream.
That's correct.
But how you alter it is by adding different ingredients.
Okay.
It's still basically cream and sugar and whatever else goes into making ice cream basically what it is. But you add big nuts, you add huge chunks of chocolate and fudge and chocolate into that, and you have New York super chunk fudge.
That's right.
If we added banana, we would have banana ice cream. If we added whatever, ribbons of fudge, the same thing really applies to granite. Granite is essentially...
But we can't add them.
We can try.
Okay.
But granite is essentially made up of hornblende, feldspar, quartz, and mica.
Okay.
You have to have those four things together to make granite. If you pull one of those out, you don't have granite. Now, with ice cream, you pull the cream out and replace it with some sort of a lighter milk product, and you might have frozen milk or whatever they call the stuff.
So if you take the marshmallows
not
out
ice
of
cream.
Rocky Road, do you still have Rocky Road?
Oh, you may not have Rocky Road, but you will have ice cream.
Okay, all right.
So the point is with granite, if you take one of those four fundamental minerals out of it, you don't have granite. So there are a lot of products that are referred as granite-like, but they may not necessarily be granite. It once again has to have the hornblende, the feldspar, the quartz, and the mica. And depending on what other things interact with the magma while it's flowing, brushing up against the minerals in the earth, those are what create different colors, different sized crystals, and different veining effects as it cools and flows
Okay,
through the
which
earth.
makes them so much different.
Exactly.
Got
That's
it.
what creates the whole thing.
Okay.
Now, and in defining granite, you can't necessarily go by color either, because let's use a fire truck analogy, which is one that I had seen. Typically, you assume a fire truck is
Red.
red, okay, but not all red trucks are fire engines.
That's
You
correct.
could have a red pickup, doesn't make it a fire engine.
That's right.
But you could have
Unless,
a
of course,
fire
it's on
engine
fire.
that's yellow.
Yeah, you could.
You could have a fire engine that's white.
Right.
Seeing them all that way.
Right.
So the fundamental qualities that make a fire engine is not the color. And it's
Okay.
also the same thing with stone. So you don't want to really be reliant on colors when identifying granites. There are some different things that affect the texture and colors of granite as they're formed in the earth. And some of those things are like biotite, Shrellian, xenoliths, and enclaves. All those different things will affect the appearance of granite.
I hope you're all getting this.
Oh, gosh.
I think they're dozing off like I did in science class during this.
And that's why you don't know any of this now. That's why
right.
we're explaining it again, because
That's
we
right.
learned
That's
this.
why I'm eating ice cream.
We learned that's right. Ice cream is John's strength. But anyway, to give you an example, there are actually 4 different shades of granite. Oh, I'm sorry, 5 in this photograph.
Can we get a shot on that close
And
up?
these 5 different pieces of granite, their coloring was affected by the feldspar, because feldspar has different colors. Remember, that's one of the 4 key components to granite is feldspar.
Okay.
And once again, by the minerals that are present in the soil and in the dirt as it's formed, it can alter the color and
So
the
you can
texture
have
of the
like
stone.
rust if there's iron.
You
And
certainly
it would give you like a rusty color in
Exactly.
the granite. Okay.
Exactly.
All right.
You've got that 100%. Now, one other thing about the granite that I just want to show real quickly. Granite is made of, once again, there's 4 key components, and these are 3. But in the rock circle of minerals, you'd have to be roughly in a balance, pretty much, of that triangle
Okay.
to really have granite.
Okay.
Now, that said, once again, there are other stones, and I'm trying to keep an eye on the time
Okay.
here.
Well, now granite
The-
has been used like for monuments primarily.
Yep.
And how long ago did they start making countertops out of granite?
Oh, I think we'd have to talk to the Romans about that, or the Greeks.
Okay. All right.
I mean, it's been around.
long time.
Stone for surfacing has been around. Gosh,
Okay.
I mean, we can maybe even bump into a caveman or two
Okay.
that might have something to say
All
about
right.
that.
Great.
But so granite, igneous rocks, is one type, and primarily, it really should be said that probably in the world of surfacing, that is the #1 stone material
Okay.
as far as countertops go. Now, there's also sedimentary stones, And once again, sedimentary
The number
stones,
one natural stone material.
Yes, yes.
Not man-made.
Correct.
Okay.
Correct.
Great. Just want to clarify that.
Sedimentary stones are, once again, those stones that are formed from granite basically breaking up, washing by rain and just movement of the earth, washing to the sea or into deep rivers, settling down into the earth, and once again being crushed by the great weight of the earth and also by heat factors and forming big piles of stone. Once again, sedimentary stone. And they're going to be affected by the organic matter that gets into them.
Okay.
Once again, the minerals that are present that wash into that base mix. And then as the sea and the and surface features change, like river flows move or shift or sometimes just completely go away, in later times when those deposits are mined or quarried, that's when sedimentary stone becomes apparent. And once again, marble would be a sedimentary stone, although it is modified typically by magma flows. It's heat that helps create marble. But you have like sandstone, you have soapstones. Those are basically sedimentary stones.
Okay.
And then, and now a key to sedimentary stone is quartz and feldspar. Okay. Remember we talked earlier how it was mica, quartz, feldspar, and were you paying attention?
No,
you weren't. Okay. Well, sedimentary stone is basically made up of two primary minerals, and that's quartz and feldspar. Time. Yes, I am. And the last one.
Talk about our quarrying.
Okay, and the last one we're going to hit are there are limestones, which are made from calcites, which are not typically used too much for countertops, but the metamorphic stones are slates, and that's a process that's a little bit different. One of the things we wanted to talk about quickly, and I'm kind of running out of time on my other thing, which is kind of a drag, but we'll deal with that later.
Okay. So how do they get it out of the ground?
Rock?
Yeah.
I usually walk by and pick them up.
Okay. How do they get the big slabs out of the ground?
Oh, I bet you have the answer to that. Now that your ice cream's gone. Can I have that ice cream back? I'll let him talk.
Okay. Actually, we have a few pictures that we can put up on the board. And we're going to go away while the pictures come up.
But that's not bad.
Right. Is our first picture up? Are we actually up? Okay. This is a picture of a saw blade. And actually, this is a new blade for a portable saw that Ken and I are working on right now for cutting stone in your backyard.
We just haven't been able to get the blade over
Actually,
here.
These are diamond tip saws, and they're absolutely amazing. This is a quarry that we went to, and that's a big slab of granite. And actually, Ken he's got his hands on some half holes that are drilled in there, because what they do is they drill down into the stone and crosswise into the stone, and then they put a charge in it and actually blow it up to just kind of raise it a little bit.
Now, it's amazing. The way they cut those is with flame and heat.
That's correct. And this is the outside of the quarry. These are stones that have been brought up, and that's a huge crane that's down in the quarry.
Actually, it's not down in the quarry.
Well, no, it's
how
not.
far
That's
down
right.
in the quarry it was?
The quarry is down. The quarry here is a couple miles deep. They haven't mined it that far.
No, but the stone goes
But you can see there, that's
that had to have been
granite on both sides.
That had to have been at least, it doesn't look like it, but at least, what would you say, 12 to 13 stories deep?
Oh, yeah, every bit of that. And you can see the way they're cut in layers, and they've actually just worked down. I'd like to know how they get that first one out to get started. It's like that Rubik's Cube.
It's like getting your fingernails under the edge.
And then that's just another shot of the edge, showing the different layers and how they come out. You can see the different colors there, from a white to a pink to a gray. And again, these are mostly monuments, but a lot of this is now being mined or quarried for countertops as well. Let's see, what's our next picture? Is that it?
That's it.
We're all done. Okay,
that's the quarrying thing.
That's all about quarrying. So we're gonna go to break, and when we come back, we're gonna have a guest with us.
We have a special guest.
And do we need to touch on any of this real quick when we get back?
Nah, we can just blow by it.
Okay, all right. We'll be back in just a couple of minutes. We've got our comical commercial going up next, and then we'll be right back. See ya.
See you in a minute.
SpecialtyTools.com would like to take this opportunity to unveil our boldest new venture, epitomizing the glorious traditions held so dear by craftsmen throughout the centuries. Our informative and enlightening seminars represent the pinnacle in only the most professional of productions.
We're back. Oh, I'm sorry.
We're just waiting on you. Like, not four. Whoa! Look at that. Works fine in the.
Actually, John, this is a shop cloth holder.
See, I told you he wasn't real bright, folks.
It's one of those clamps in our line that we've had for a long time, and you know, it has its uses, of course, but especially
Last week.
No. Chris said we did that for the promo. We're gonna drop this down. I'm sorry, folks. This is for laminating, plastic laminate.
We started out with a dog and we ended with Chihuahua.
Yes, like Santa.
and I look like a fool. Have a little shame.
Drop it in the water.
Are we going to go off?
I'm sorry.
I hate my job.